What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update, starting off with the manager situation and starting off with Arne Slot, as Sammy Mockbell says that Arne Slot is emerging as a strong candidate for the Tottenham job. Tottenham are adamant that there is not a top target, but Slot is high in the thoughts of the Spurs hierarchy. Matt Law saying that Tottenham are stepping up their interests in Arne Slot. Independent are saying that Arne Slot has emerged as a prime candidate for Tottenham Hotspur job after initial discussions among the hierarchy. Miguel Delaney saying that Arne Slot is seen as meeting most of the Tottenham Hotspur requirements for the profile of their new manager, progressive and an up-and-coming coach, and a record of bringing on a team with a modern style of play. Jonathan De Wolf, who is Arne Slot's assistant, has confirmed that he will not follow Slot to Tottenham if he does make that move.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. It's a bit peculiar because I wonder how long he's been his assistant for. If he's been like a long-term assistant, or if it just been maybe since he's at Feyenoord.
Maybe he just likes his life in Holland.
Yeah, it could also be. Does seem to be very quickly emerging as the favourite now for the job. We heard a while ago that Spurs were having meetings with Arne Slot's representatives, and now it's coming to the fore that he's going to be the leading one in an interview.
He was only with them at Feyenoord, not Alkmaar.
Okay, so it doesn't seem to be a long-term assistant, maybe like other managers who just have like a partnership going on kind of thing. So that's all right. Look, would be a very exciting appointment, and he would get us playing in a more attacking way. I also was watching a video of one of his team talks he was doing after his final team beat Ajax, and he seems like a very motivational, very inspirational kind of man who can get players like running through brick walls for him. So definitely seems like an exciting appointment, and definitely hope and will get Spurs playing the way that we all want Spurs to be playing, which is quick, attacking, exciting football. But it's going to need time. It's definitely going to need time, and especially with the level of competition in the Premier League at the moment. As we said before, even thinking about getting top six, even if we were settled, getting top six at next season is going to be difficult with the level of competition now. Not only is every team getting more settled, but they got like top managers in place now. The managerial game at the moment in the Premier League, even outside the top six, you got De Zerbi, Emre, Lopetegui. So Slot coming into this job is going to have time to get his players in place, get his the players to learn the system, and it's going to be some bumps in the road. And hopefully the Spurs fans are patient enough for that.
Yeah, let's hope so, because it's going to need massive amounts of patience, whoever the manager is, not just an Arne Slot, but especially someone like Arne Slot, because it's just literally a complete flip of the philosophy, the footballing philosophy at the club. But let's talk about another manager in Ruben Amorim. Miguel Delaney, again, is saying that Tottenham are also seeking to speak to Sporting Lisbon's Ruben Amorim pretty soon. So it looks as though he could be second choice on that list.
I just think we should be speaking to everyone to assess all our options, which is why it's absolutely crazy that they're even claiming we're not going to speak to Nagelsmann, because why wouldn't you want to speak to him? You know what I mean? Just to have a conversation. So that makes no sense. I think Amorim is obviously doing very impressive stuff at Sporting. I do see him not as possession-based as someone like an Arne Slot, albeit he does play quick and exciting football. It does seem to be a bit more counter-attacking than maybe possession-based, which Arne Slot is known for. But maybe in the interview stage, he can convince Spurs that actually the football that he plays is more of a fit for what we want. And as well, he actually plays more of a back three. Arne Slot usually plays a back four, and our squad at the moment, as it's currently kind of assembled, it is probably assembled more for a back three right now. So I think getting Arne Slot's going to need some more surgery to the squad.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it seems like if Amorim does come in, it seems like more like of a short-term kind of fix, if you like, where Arne Slot is more long-term, looking to completely change the club. And before we carry on, let's talk about our sponsor, Private Internet Access VPN.
So who are Private Internet Access? Well, simply put, it's a service that can encrypt your data and help keep your online activity private. This can also be used on multiple devices, and with private internet access, you can be used on unlimited devices as well, which makes it super convenient to use.
Well, you might be asking yourself, why do I need private internet access? Your internet service provider can track everything that you do online and can even sell the data to advertisers.
I can't believe it.
But with a VPN, your online activities are hidden, so your internet service provider can't see what you're doing.
In addition to privacy, you can access content which is currently blocked in the UK. For example, if, say, your team was playing on a Saturday 3 p.m. during the blackout, you could change your location to the US where the game would be on, and you can stream the game as if you were in the US.
And here's the best part. By clicking the link in the description below, you can get 83% off private internet access VPN.
That's just £1.62 a month, and you get 4 extra months completely free. So if you want to keep your online activities private and you want to access content which is blocked in your country, then choose private internet access.
Moving on to Thiago Pinto, we brought you the news very recently that Thiago Pinto is in the running to become Spurs sporting director. Charlie Eccleshares that says that Thiago Pinto is not seen as a leading candidate for the director of football position at Tottenham.
That makes sense to me, and I'm happy about that. As much as he's like a good sporting director in his own right, I just think for what Tottenham want and what we're looking for, I think as a project, just looking at his previous work, I'm not saying it's bad, I just don't think it's the right fit.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, we've spoken about this quite a bit in the past couple of days, but it just seems as though like maybe if we had a Mourinho or a Conte, Pinto would be a good fit. But seeing as we're trying to move on from that, then yeah, I completely agree with that. In terms of the next guy, Tim Steedon, we've spoken a bit about him again in the past couple of days, giving quite positive feedback. Charlie Eccleshare says that Tim Steedon is also not a leading candidate. Well-placed sources have denied Spurs of holding an interest in him.
So all the candidates we've heard of was Johannes Spores, Pinto, Steedon, and now they're all out of the running.
But pretty much, yeah.
So
pretty
we
much.
kind of don't have a sporting director leading candidate.
Yeah, we do. His name's Daniel Levy.
Daniel Levy. Oh, what a sporting director he is. So I don't know what. So back to the drawing board, I guess we have to wait and see who the next name coming out the hat. And again, we should be ahead of the game when it comes to sporting director, ahead of a manager and the summer window. You know, hearing all these talks about transfers and managers, it's just ridiculous when we don't have the structure in place to accommodate all of it right now without a sporting director. If that's the way we're going to go down. So I think it's a bit ridiculous, but is what it is. That's how Spurs at the moment.
I mean, how many times do you have to say it? I even think it's ridiculous even talking about managers in the way that we're talking about them when we don't have a sporting director and we have no idea who it's going to be. But this is Tottenham Hotspur and we never do things the normal way. But let's talk about a potential signing. His name is Gift Orban, out in Belgium, plays for Ghent. Nazar Kinsella says that Tottenham have sent scouts to watch Ghent striker Gift Orban. And it's an interesting one, this. Very young striker. It's come completely out of the blue. I'll tell you the truth, before today I'd never heard of him. But having a deeper look into him, he looks like a proper prospect, man.
Yeah, he's young. He's clearly been smashing out in the Belgian league this season for Genk. He has 14 goals in 13 games as a 20-year-old. So he seems to be a really up-and-coming striker.
Hat-trick in Europe.
Hat-trick in the Conference League as well, which is no mean feat for a 20-year-old striker as well. He's kind of come out of the blue to really shot to stardom in the Belgian league as well. So maybe he's one again where he's now just breaking out. Maybe we're getting him just before he really starts to fly.
Absolutely,
already
yeah.
is starting to fly. But.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're flying in the Belgian league, there's one thing flying in the Belgian league. There's one thing flying in a top European league, and I think if we can get someone like that in early, bed him into the Premier League as well, under the wing of Harry Kane, with Harry Kane potentially leaving in a year or so with the end of his contract, you know, it could be really good business.
Yeah, you do have to be careful because, you know, it's not a massive sample size in terms of his experience in top level football. Obviously he's doing fantastic this season, but you just have to make sure that when you're scouting him, that you're making sure you're looking at all the relevant aspects, like not just the goals he's scoring, but his general play as well, and then you can have a better picture. But he just seemed to be a very, very promising striker.
Yeah. And last but not least, let's talk about Ollie Skipp now, as Sami Mokbel says that Skipp is in line for a promotion into the club's leadership group. Tottenham executives has held a string of meetings with senior players in recent weeks during what has been a turbulent period. Ollie Skipp has been part of the leadership party that includes Harry Kane, Hugo Lloris and Eric Dyer that were consulted in those talks. I mean,
I thought Højbjerg was part of it as well.
Yeah, I thought that, but he's not in the list. But I think he is part of it, to be honest. I think they've just missed him out. But in terms of Ollie Skipp being part of this leadership group, do you not think he's a bit too young for that? Like, he's an up-and-coming player from the academy that's only been part of the first team squad for like 2 years, I think now. Is that not a bit early for him?
100%, I would say it's way too early. Like, he has to, as much as I believe on Olisip's quality, and I believe he could be a very good future player for Tottenham, and I believe he probably bleeds blue and white and he loves the club, he's come through our academy. Like, I believe all those things. He's very passionate about the team. And, what we're hearing, at half-time against, was it Newcastle or Liverpool?
Yeah.
He'd really was digging out some of the players and was trying to take more responsibility. And that's all great. But at the end of the day, he still has to earn that position of being a leader in the group. And I think after 2 years, and especially when he's missed such a big chunk of that as well through injury, like, I don't think there's enough time to have authority in the change room to say, I've earned this position, I'm now a leader as part of this group. And I know you do get young captains in certain other squads and stuff like that, and who like step up to the plate. But I just feel like to earn that spot in the leadership group, you have to surely have been at the club for a number of years, being a regular starter, and like to have that authority for people to listen to you. Like, if Ollie Skipp is like part of a leadership group, like, why would his word have any sway at this point in time? I just don't understand. Unless he's there like representing the younger players, maybe that's something like that. Like, he'll like, if that you got Kane and Lloris who are like the head leaders, and then Skipp gives younger players a bit more of a voice in the leadership group. I guess that would make a bit more sense.
I get that, but I mean, Kane coming from the academy should still represent that and should still be giving those kind of players a voice. So I think it's just way too early. The guy has, as much as you said, as much as we believe in him, we all believe in Ollie Skipp, but I just think like he needs to be earning his stripes before he gets talked about in that manner, in my opinion.
Yeah, he should. I mean, even one fully fit season. You know what I mean? Hasn't had that
even next season, like not next season, but the season after next, I think is way too early for this. I think he needs to be an out-and-out player in the first team, starting week in, week out for at least 2 years before this even comes about.
Yeah, I agree with that. So it's a bit of an odd decision if that's the truth, but maybe that's a sign of our trust in him, I guess.
And also, like, picking players who's part of a leadership group shouldn't be up to the hierarchy of the club as well. It should be up to the manager of the team.
100%.
Like, again, that's another flaw in what we're doing here at Tottenham.
I think the players themselves should pick it, really.
Well,
that's what I think. Because if it's a leadership group of the players, I don't think it should be a manager's choice who select. I think it should be the players themselves who decide.
Shouldn't it be who the manager trusts the most and who the best leaders are in the team?
Depends what you want from a leadership group. Because the leadership group is something separate from like the manager, right? So I don't think you would want the manager selecting.
But isn't a leadership group just supposed to be like an extension of what the manager wants? And when the manager's not there, they're the ones implementing the good ideas.
I don't know, because didn't the hierarchy meet with the leadership group when they were discussing like whether they should sack content and things like that? So I think it seems to be a separate kind of. I've never heard of this, by the way. Leadership groups.
That's what I mean. It doesn't make sense to me.
But I do think it's odd that they have a leadership group and maybe not just talk individually to like Kane or like just do it like that. But I do think it should be if they're going to do it, it should be a separate thing where these leaders are the ones most respected by their teammates, and that's kind of how they're selected.
Because if you have this leadership group, right, and the manager doesn't pick them, and they're go back to the hierarchy, say sack this guy, sack that guy. Just feed into the narrative of everything that we've been complaining about at this football club. That the players just have way too much power and they're getting these managers sacked time and time again. So that's another reason why I think it should come from the manager.
Potentially, but I mean, I don't think how would that help?
I just think it would have more trust. The players would have more trust in the manager if they have more trust in them.
Maybe. I think it just has to be a separate thing.
Well, look, let's be honest. There shouldn't be a leadership group. It should. I
remember Chelsea used to have a similar thing. Like,
and what happened there?
Because they had Terry, Cech, Drogba, and Lampard as part
of
their leadership
there?
group. They got so many medals. They won a bucket load of trophies. And
yeah,
then they got loads
but
of
after that they got. We basically have this leadership. That's why we're the B-Tech Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly. We're the same, but yeah, except for
minus the trophies. Yeah, that's
literally.
it.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go. But anyway, that is our Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts regarding any of the news stories we've brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.